At first, Amber Dalton thought the drumming sound was coming from outside, but when she drew herself up from the hard mattress, she realized it was in her own head. Darkness wrapped itself around her like a thick blanket. She couldn't make out any walls or see the outlines of bedroom furniture. Her forehead throbbed so much it made her wince. He'd doped her. Amber wondered if he had raped her while she'd been unconscious. She dropped her hands to her thighs, then hesitated as she felt unfamiliar rough material beneath her fingertips. She'd been wearing her short, pleated black skirt. Her best friend, Sam, called it her foxy skirt. "It makes men's tongues fall out of their mouths," Sam had said. "You've got great legs. Team it with a silk shirt and you've got a winning combination." The lousy son of a bitch had removed her clothes, and she was wearing a garment that smelt of antiseptic. She tugged at it and felt it give behind her. She wriggled about, running her hand down her backside and feeling the flesh of her buttocks. It was open at the back, tied with strings in a few places. It was a hospital gown. A flash of pain in her forehead made her cry out. She seemed to be in hospital, but why? She hadn't been involved in an accident. She turned her head left and right to see if she was injured. This couldn't be a hospital ward. It didn't smell like a hospital. The bed was pushed into a corner of the room, and she felt the wall on her right. Under the tips of her fingers, she could feel the raised flock of the wallpaper. Her bedroom had wallpaper, flowers and swirls that she and her mother had chosen together. Amber would often trace the patterns while lying in bed, wishing she didn't have to go to school. Amber had a desperate urge to call for her mother and cry on her scrawny shoulder. Her mother wasn't exactly the maternal type, but right now, Amber wanted nothing more than to be sat on the comfy sofa, listening to her mother tell her off for being such a stupid cow. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head spinning as she felt for a bedside table and a light. Her splayed fingers discovered nothing but air. She pushed up onto her feet, bare soles touching cold floorboards, and began crabbing along the wall, seeking a light switch, each step cautious, in case she trod on a sharp object. She found a wooden surround, a door frame, and traced her fingers to the handle and turned it. The door remained resolutely shut. She tugged with both hands, tiny noises escaping her as her panic grew, and she questioned why she was in a locked room. She fumbled in vain for a switch. She needed to see where she was and work out how to escape. She would have to venture further and hope she didn't stumble over any furniture. Fingers outstretched, she searched the space, arms waving up and down and sweeping the area in front of her. The room appeared at first to be empty, apart from the bed. She met another wall and, resting her back against it, caught her ragged breath, which was coming in tortured, frightened gasps. Now disorientated, nauseous, and confused, she dropped to her knees and shuffled on all fours, hoping to find the bed once more. Instead, she banged her knee on the sharp edge of a piece of furniture and cried out. She could not understand what was happening. Blood trickled down her head. She touched it and wondered if she had actually been involved in some sort of accident. That would explain the situation. She was in a hospital and needed to rest. She began to mumble, "It's okay, it's okay." There was no other explanation, she reasoned. "Nurse," she croaked, her voice no more than a faint whisper. "Nurse."